Hi, welcome to this video. My name is Clive and I'm from a company called Ready People, and I'm going to chat to you today about something we're all talking about, COVID-19. I know, but I'm going to hopefully put a bit of a different spin on it, because what I want to talk about today is I need to talk about COVID-19. The fact is that COVID-19 has changed the way we're living in this world. We no longer are operating at the plan we thought we'd have. We're no longer operating on plan A. I'm not even sure we're on plan B. We're operating at a level of where we actually are in survival mode for a lot of the time, because what we're just trying to do is, for a lot of us, keep our jobs. For a lot of us, try and survive with reduced salaries. Some of us, what we're trying to do is pivot so that we can recreate ourselves after losing our jobs. And for some of us, we're just trying to put food on the table because the fact is that money's not coming in. COVID is a time that's produced huge anxiety. And although in South Africa, we've moved down into lockdown 2, we're still all feeling this kind of sense that things aren't right. Most of our conversations happen still via Zoom, Microsoft Teams, WhatsApp calls, or via FaceTime. And what we do is we get to speak to computer screens. And that's okay. It's because it's important that we talk. We're human beings, and human beings need to talk about how we're feeling. And the reality is that with COVID, we're feeling all sorts of things. What seems to be happening in the world is that COVID is producing this sense of anxiety that we are continuously having to deal with. And for some people, it's this just low-level anxiety that seems to be existing. And for some people, they've ended up in psychiatric units to try and deal with the change in the world and the change in their world. And that's okay. The reality is that we need to acknowledge where we're at. We need to acknowledge the fact that this is an anxiety-producing time, that this is a time where we are having to fight for resilience, that this is a time where we're not going to get it right. I recently posted on Facebook that I was just tired. I was tired of fighting to pretend that everything was okay. I spend my days trying to help people. I'm a development coach. And what that means is that I try and get into people's worlds, and I try and get them to develop as human beings into what they want to be. And so what I spend my days doing is trying to really get alongside people to understand how they can cope in this time of anxiety. Because what often happens is, especially in working relationships, you're probably finding that you're a little bit more volatile than you used to be, that perhaps you're a little bit more emotional than you were, that maybe you're not containing your emotions like you used to be, that you are having outbursts, or that you're getting cross with the children a lot quicker than you used to, wanting to kick the dog. Please don't do that. But what you're finding is that your response rates are perhaps not as contained or as calculated as what they used to be. And that's because of this mild level of anxiety. And the only way that we can deal with this mild level of anxiety, or these heightened levels of anxiety, is to speak. We need to be able to speak about how we're feeling. We need to be able to speak about how we're going to navigate this new world. And we need to be able to speak about how we're going to shift in our thinking so that we're able to be more resilient. See, I'm a development coach, and what a development coach does is I try and modify your actions and your behaviors by working with you. I don't actually do the work, you do. And what we do is there's a heavy focus on your inner game. We look at things like your mindset, your emotions, your beliefs. What are your beliefs at the moment in terms of COVID, in terms of your job, in terms of your employees, in terms of your employer? So what I do as a development coach is I offer you the opportunity to navigate the world through these murky waters and go along a journey with you, where what we do is that we look for results. We look for, how do we navigate this world a little bit better? How do we navigate COVID in a way that we feel more resilient? How do we deal with our employer in a way that's not as emotional or reactive? And how do we deal with our employees so that they feel safe? And how do I, if it's just as an individual, how do I be a better parent? How do I make sure that my kids are feeling safe, that I'm making people feel secure, and that I'm living the best life I can given the circumstances? If you're looking for someone to journey with, perhaps consider a coach. COVID is a time when we're becoming a lot more reflective. COVID is a time when we're becoming a lot more insular. And COVID is a time when we're starting to really think about how do we want the rest of our lives to be. And this is a great opportunity to get someone alongside you to chat through where you want your life to go, to chat through how things could possibly be, and to chat through a world where you're navigating it with strength, with resilience, and with an emotional intelligence that is actually deep within you and that you can tap into. If you're wanting to develop, then let's get together and maybe book a discovery call, check if we've got some chemistry, see if you want to work with me, and let's see where we can get you to. Maybe, you know, the person you are right now isn't the person you're going to be in a month, 2, maybe 6 months time. That's my job, is to help you get there. So yeah, get in touch if you want it. Thanks for listening.